What's going on, everyone? So today is the NBA draft, and the Los Angeles Lakers have the 17th pick and the 55th pick going into the draft today. Now, remember, for those that don't know and for those that maybe just forgot, the draft is going to be split into 2 days for the first time. So you got today, which is going to be the entire first round of the NBA draft, and then tomorrow will be day 2 of the second round. So that's something that'll be exciting. So if you're looking forward to, are they going to draft Bronny? Are they going to draft somebody else? Are they going to trade for a second round pick? Whatever. Don't hold your breath. Don't get your hopes up because obviously they won't be able to draft anybody in the second round till tomorrow. So chances are a trade for, moving up to whatever the 40th pick is probably not going to happen till tomorrow. But one of the things that I want to talk about with the Lakers that's a little concerning, right? There's a couple concerns, period, but the one that I think is most concerning is the lack of players that were worked out for the draft. Now, the Lakers worked out like 40 players, but like 35 of them were for the 55th to undrafted. They were basically all second round picks. Lakers worked out a couple guys. They worked out like Hollins and Edey and wearing a couple players that could potentially be out there. Culver, I think, was another guy that was worked out. So there's a couple guys that the Lakers worked out, like a handful, but not like all those guys could be gone by the time the Lakers are ready to pick. So unless the Lakers are looking to move up, which there are talks about, like the Lakers potentially moving up or moving back. There's even talks that the Lakers may, flip the 17th pick into like 2 early, seconds, or like a later first and then a earlier second. So that's definitely an option that's out there. There's definitely some flexibility. It also kind of signals that like the Lakers are probably going to trade the pick. Again, they more likely than not are going to draft a guy. But whoever they draft, 1, don't panic, and 2, keep in mind that like they have to draft somebody before they can trade him. So let's say, for example, Zach Edey is available, right? Let's say he's on the board and the Lakers take somebody out of left field. And it's like, what are the Lakers doing? We need a center. Edey's there. Like, what? Why are the Lakers doing this? It's very likely that the Lakers just drafted whoever that player would be for another team. So, for example, let's say the Atlanta Hawks, right? Atlanta has multiple centers already, and they're looking to trade Clint Capella, and they're probably going to draft Clegan or Sarr. And so it's very possible that if that happens, and Zach Edey's on the board, and let's say the Lakers do trade for, say, DeJounte Murray, then Atlanta might be like, hey, like, we don't want Edey, we want you to draft this guy, say Culver, right? Like, so that's something to keep in mind as well. But again, maybe Edey or Ware, somebody's there at 17 that, that the Lakers worked out or the Lakers are excited for or are familiar with that they can end up picking up. But there's also the concern that, like, all the guys that they did work out aren't there. And now the Lakers are scrambling to try to pick a guy. And it's like, well, you should have worked out more guys. And look, is it possible that they worked out guys that, just weren't heavily reported? That's possible, usually, because all that stuff gets checked in through the NBA and stuff like that and are all scheduled, right? Because I've seen a couple people throwing out like, oh, maybe they worked out guys and it just wasn't reported. The thing with that is, again, like, these are all scheduled with agents in the league and, the draft combine and all this stuff. Like, it's not just like, hey, come through and get this workout in. No, it's like, it's planned and scheduled because all these players are working out for other teams also. So I do have some concern that the Lakers just maybe didn't do enough due diligence to where it's like comfortable drafting a guy. But if the Lakers kind of, like, look, Rob Pelinka, even said in the JJ Redick presser that the Lakers are absolutely looking to trade for a star or a player or just any kind of upgrade, right? Lakers want to upgrade this roster. If a deal is there to put them in position for a championship, then they're going to do that, or at least put them closer to a championship. And, there's been rumors that, Jeremy Grant and DeJounte Murray, and now Brooklyn, they've torn it down. They traded Mikal Bridges. So maybe like a Cam Johnson or a Dorian Finney-Smith or something, right? Like there's definitely options there that maybe the Lakers already have a sort of a spit in a handshake type deal already done, locked up, ready to go. That is a real possibility, right? And it's just like, okay, well, there's no point for any parties to leak it or announce it until they can make it official, because again, they can't do anything until the draft, right? So that's something to keep in mind. And then also, chances are the Lakers aren't going to make like a huge trade. Now, I'm not saying they can't, right? Like they could go trade for DeJounte Murray right now if they wanted to, but problem is like it makes things more complicated and difficult until they find out what is going on with D'Lo, right? Once they find out and know what D'Lo's doing, then it makes things a lot easier. So again, they may end up just drafting somebody, and don't fall in love with who they draft. Even if they do draft Zach Edey, don't fall in love with Zach Edey. Now, I would love if the Lakers could go pull off, like let's say they do draft Edey and they're able to pull off and go trade for a DeJounte Murray and a Dorian Finney-Smith, right? Even if the Lakers don't do anything else, right? If we basically close out this offseason with like DeJounte Murray, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Zach Edey, it's pretty good. Sounds pretty good to me. You got your backup center, you got your athletic third option, point of attack, point guard that can do multiple things and score the basketball and everything, right? You got a legit 3-and-D guy that you could slot in, right? Like DeJounte Murray, Austin Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis sounds pretty good to me. Or if you get Cam Johnson, whomever, right? Like, it sounds pretty good to me, right? And then have Zach Edey off the bench, right? Maybe you bring in a Kevin Porter, bring in a Chris Paul or something as like a backup point guard, right? All of a sudden, Lakers would be looking pretty good. Have Max Christie off the bench, right? You still have Christian Wood. If you have something like, let's say worst case, let's say, you have like your starting five is like I said, DeJounte, Austin Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith. Yeah, let's just say Dorian Finney-Smith, right? LeBron and AD. And then your bench is like Chris Paul, Max Christie, Jared Vanderbilt, Christian Wood, and Zach Edey. Sounds like a pretty good 10 to me. Like, honestly. So, it's just something that is a bit concerning, right? Because it's like, because you never know, right? Like, usually you want to kind of work out a couple handful of guys. I'm not saying you work out every name in the draft, but it's just like, all the guys that were mentioned that they worked out are all kind of projected to be in the 10 to 15. And I mean, even a guy like Zach Edey, who, like, Ware and Zach Edey kind of seem to be the guys that most mock drafts have the Lakers taking. But the problem is that, like, there's like reports that Portland, which I think is odd since you have Ayton, but Portland may take Edey at 7, right? And so it's like, okay, well, if he's not there and say Holland isn't there and let's say Ware isn't there and Holmes isn't there, and it's just like, okay, well, who are the Lakers taking? Like, if everyone that they worked out isn't there come 17, and we don't have news that they're trading the pick, like, who are they taking? Again, could they draft somebody for another team? Absolutely. But it is just something I think worth mentioning, and again, a little bit concerning. Is it like the end of the world? Is it like, oh no, like, I'm sure the Lakers have an idea of guys. I'm sure more likely than not, somebody that they like is going to be there. Somebody that they've done their due diligence on will be there. Just because, I mean, we kind of know what the top 10 most likely is, 10, 11 is. So it's kind of like, where does like that, like 11 through 16 fall, and then the Lakers kind of take their guy. Now, again, in a perfect world, you get a Zach Edey, get a Ware, beautiful, and then, like I said, you go pull off a DeJounte Murray trade, pull off a Dorian Finney-Smith trade. Now Lakers are in business. That'd be a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you have some concerns that, like, yeah, hey, the Lakers didn't work anybody out? Like, you know, we should probably have done more? Or do you think, like, no, they're trading the pick anyway? Do you think, like, no, like one of the guys that they did work out will end up being there? Is there anyone in particular that you want to see? But again, don't fall in love with any prospects yet, right? Until we, are clear and it's like, oh, okay, the Lakers are clearly keeping this guy. Again, just because the Lakers could draft Edey and then end up trading him in like a week. Like, that's something that could very well happen once D'Lo opts in or opts out and Lakers have their decision. So just something to keep in mind. But again, I feel whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.